This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
All right, let's react to Hunter's voicemail and get to the college football playoffs here in just a moment. We want to remind everybody we are brought to you by Purple Total Roofing. You can call Purple Total Roofing at 877-787-6635 for a free roof inspection today. At Purple Total Roofing, we're not just another contractor. We're your neighbor and your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or business. With years of hands-on experience, top-tier certification, and a commitment to excellence, we've built a reputation as Alabama's go-to roofing solution. We specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, emergency storm repairs, full-on roof replacement, insurance claim support, and more. You want to make sure that your roof is ready for Santa to land on this Christmas season. I know you've already got your gifts on the way from the North Pole. Make sure your roof is ready so Santa can land, not destroy your roof. You can wake up with no snow in your home on Christmas morning because he landed hard and heavy. Purple Turtle Roofing will inspect your roof. Make sure you're ready to go. Make sure you're prepared for all of life's storms. You can call them at 877-PT-ROOF-5. That's 877-787-6635. And after the Christmas season, you want to call them again to make sure that Blitzen and Donner and Rudolph didn't damage your roof by stomping on your roof. Call them 877-787-6635. It's a free roof inspection. They'll help you out, make sure that all your trouble spots are taken care of. Make sure that you have the peace of mind that you deserve in your home. We'll have Brax Garrison join us later in the week to talk about the SEC championship game and the college football playoff draw from Purple Turtle Roofing. We appreciate their partnership with the show. Call them 877-787-6635.
It's a very interesting situation with these conference championship games because I think it was very clear that had Alabama been dropped out of the playoff, there would have been a serious change made to the SEC championship, right? I think that's not a crazy thing to say. I think that you are in a position where the playoff matters a lot more to teams, programs, and conferences than a conference title. But Hunter's completely right. If we're not valuing it at all, why are we playing the game? So
we're playing it for the emotion, those Georgia fans' feelings.
Right.
Their feelings, man.
Those feelings are cool. Like Indiana, that fan base, it has to mean so much to them to win that thing.
For Mendoza was awesome after the game.
That was a great interview. I love that guy.
People condemning that online, you're losers. He was so happy and just giving credit to all his teammates. Oh, it's great.
Texas Tech, they've been in the Big 12 since 1996. That's their first conference title. That should mean something. But first of all, I fail to see how, not that the 2 versus 3 matters at all. I fail to see how Georgia doesn't move up to 2.
Agreed.
After winning that and Ohio State losing. Like, that was them literally saying the game means nothing. At the same time, and we're about to talk about the committee and the decisions they made, you'd say, yeah, Alabama.
They some bozos.
Loses the game, doesn't get punished. Ohio State loses, doesn't get punished. BYU, that was a bad voice crack. BYU loses. And that loss, you literally heard him say in the explanation, that loss was enough to get him dropped from consideration. How does this make any sense at all?
Well, because they lost they got blown out by Texas Tech twice.
No, but you are not allowed to look at every other conference championship game and, yeah, this doesn't matter, and then take one and say, yeah, this is enough. This game that we've decided doesn't matter for everyone else matters for this one team, and it's enough for us to drop them a spot in the rankings.
It's because the Big 12.
And then we're going to go have a comparison of the other teams and exclude this team who lost the meaningless game from it.
It's because the Big 12 is partnered with Fox.
It's absurd.
It's because the Big 12 is partnered with Fox. The Big 10 is partnered with Fox as well, but you can't drop 1 and 2 undefeated teams, right? We got to give Fox a little bone here, but I mean, I hate to say this, but the committee is they're just making it up every week.
Yes.
They're making it up every single and like there are metrics to have Alabama included in the playoff, but look at this. What's better TV? Alabama at 10 playing Texas A&M, a team that they, haven't played in 2 years. Maybe it's great TV to have them go out to College Station. Yeah, sure. But is it not better TV to have them go to Norman, the team that beat them this past, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the team that ended their season basically last year? Like, that's better TV to go out to. Like, this is all made for and you've got to have the 2 DEI spots because Duke doesn't belong, but we can't leave out the ACC. We can't leave out the ACC or all the ACC stands will get upset, and they're technically a partner with us at ESPN as well. So you've got the 2 DEIs. I mean, Tulane, you were already in. You beat North Texas. You got in. But Duke, are we really going to put Duke in the college football playoff? No, we're going to show some element of fairness and inclusivity with James Madison, but we can't leave out the ACC. So we've got to justify Miami moving up. Well, we justify them by moving up by dropping BYU and saying, well, now we can compare Notre Dame and Miami since they're side by side in the rankings. We couldn't compare them when there was a buffer team because we're bozos. We're bozos, and we can't compare teams that played on the field because they were separated by 2 or 3 spots in the ranking. But now that they're not separated in the rankings, well, we had to drop BYU out so that we could bring them side by side in the rankings. And now that they're side by side, well, we can flip. Notre Dame, sorry, you're out. And Miami, you're in right there at 10 because just feels right, and we can't leave out a team in the ACC that should have been playing for the conference title, but the ACC has bozo rules for their conference title tiebreakers. They should be using rules like the American Conference that had Tulane and North Texas in the conference title game, but they're not. So they had Virginia and Duke, but if only Virginia had won. If Virginia had won, you probably wouldn't have seen the flip. You probably would still have Virginia in. You wouldn't have James Madison. You'd have Tulane. You'd have Notre Dame. Yes. BYU would have stayed the same. It's all made to construct, like everything that happens, like it's a huge puzzle. It's a big I mean, hey buddy, I'm gonna pat myself on the back. 8:15 in the morning on Sunday morning, I put out the 12. Nailed every single one of them. Every single one of them. Because you could just see how the puzzle works and feel how the puzzle works. And so every single one of them I nailed. I had Alabama at 10. They ended up at 9. Ohio State at 3. They ended up at 2. Everything else, spot on. And so I think that you just have to understand how this committee sees things. They're a bunch of ADs and bozos trying to make their TV partners work and trying to make everything fit together and to have an element of fairness, have an element of inclusivity, have an element of everybody gets a seat at the table here. And sorry, Notre Dame, you're partnered with NBC, so you're out.
I never want to hear Hunter Yurachek talk again in my life. First of all, that game day segment was one of the worst things I've ever watched. That's the first thing. That's besides the point. But
was that on Saturday?
That was
I didn't watch anything Saturday. I was driving over.
He goes on and Reese is asking him questions, and Yurachek does not answer.
Nick Saban,
and then Saban calls him out for it. Saban's like, did he answer a single question or did he just filibuster? Like, it was so bad.
That's how we did on Tuesday on the conference call. We asked him all kinds of questions about Alabama. Can they drop out? Can this team move up? It's impossible to say. I don't know. We got to see. We'll see. We'll re-rank the teams on Sunday. And that's why I felt like on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning show, I was like, man, Alabama better win because this guy's leaving every door open.
Yeah. Joe, we are going to have a 16-team playoff.
Yeah, ASAP.
Within a very short period of time, and I would do just about anything to go back to 4. I miss it, man. And we've talked about this before, but it's just.
But then there's not inclusion.
And first of all, let me address one thing. When we're at this number, be it 12 or 16, I have no problem whatsoever with these G5s being.
Oh, Theo, wrong.
I think that they deserve.
They're taking an 8th grade test. They're taking an 8th grade test, and everybody else is taking a senior test.
The
8th grader might be smart. The 8th grader might be really smart, but he's competing with other 8th graders.
I just don't get how in every other sport we love to root for every single mid-major. We love seeing, March Madness, school goes out there and pulls the upset, but in football we don't even want to give him the chance. I get it's a different sport. I get that there's a big talent gap. I understand that JMU and Tulane will probably lose by a good bit. But it feels un-American for us to sit here and not even want them to get a shot.
What is American even anymore?
That's not good.
I'm just saying. You're going to say, I hope you sit down and watch on Saturday, December 20th. Don't miss a single minute. Watch back-to-back on TNT, Tulane at Ole Miss, and watch back-to-back James Madison at Oregon.
Yeah,
2:30 and 6. You better not miss a minute if you're touting this.
Were those first-round games last year so good?
No. Boise State got their butt kicked by Penn State, and Boise State they got a DEI spot.
Oregon got their butt kicked by Ohio State.
I'd much rather watch that.
There were bad games all around. Again, case in point, there are only so many great teams in a season. First of all, we don't need to be having a playoff this big. But second of all, I think that you can look at Notre Dame, right, and the season they had, and scheduling, A&M, Miami, losing those games, and then dominating. Notre Dame, they won every game by at least 2 scores. They only had 2 games that weren't 3-score or more games. All right, so they've dominated down the stretch.
At least they played a Power 4 schedule.
I still think that, and this slightly changed topic, I think that if the committee had put them in over Miami, it would have been one of the biggest travesties I've ever seen.
I agree with that.
Right? You need the head-to-head to matter. So they make the right call with Miami.
Yep.
Notre Dame, a couple years ago, this is, we're a 2-loss team. We're going to go play in a New Year's Six Bowl. It's a good end of the season. You can feel good about it. And now you've just ruined that. You've ruined what used to make the college football regular season special. And it's only going to get worse from here. It is shameful to me that we have teams declining bowl invites.
Yes.
It is atrocious. But, Joe, this is what's going to happen under this system. This is the
Marcus Freeman needs to look himself in the mirror this morning and say, we're changing our minds because I need those 15 bowl practices. We need to set the tone for the next year. What did Georgia do when they get left out? Granted, it's a 4 situation instead of a 12 situation, but Georgia said, we got left out. Well, we're going to beat Florida State's brains in. We're just going to go out there and show them exactly who we are and beat their brains all over the field in the Orange Bowl and make their program quit for a bit, honestly. And Florida State, I'm sorry, you were the victims there. But so Notre Dame, you need to go to this Pop-Tart Bowl and make somebody the victim. Right. Make somebody feel it. At least Notre Dame's problem is with the rules. We got to have the 5 conference. That's hooey because James Madison in over Notre Dame, Tulane in over Notre Dame. Look at these schedules here. Notre Dame, how many teams did you play, Notre Dame? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Power 4 games. 10 Power 4 games. How many Power 4 games did you play, Tulane? How many Power 4 games did you play, James Madison? Tulane played 3. Tulane played Northwestern, Duke, and Ole Miss. You played 3 games against Power 4 competition. Yeah, you beat Northwestern and you beat ACC champion Duke, so you must be good. But then you went to the Grove and got your head kicked in 45-10. You don't belong because you're taking an 8th grade test. You're taking a test for great, you beat Tulsa, Army, you beat Memphis, you lost to UTSA, you beat Temple, you beat Charlotte. Great. Who cares about any of that? James Madison, how many Power 4 games did you play, James Madison? You lost to Louisville, and is that the only one? Yeah, that's the only Power 4 game you played. The only one. Your out-of-conference games were against Weber State, Louisville, and Liberty. Right? Or Liberty are they in the same conference? Liberty is in the Sun Belt. Who's their other out of conference game? Is it Marshall? No, it's Washington State. It's Washington. So okay, Washington State. Are you a tweener team? You're not in the Power 4. You're not even in a conference anymore. So you beat Louisville. You lost to Louisville. You beat Weber State and you beat Washington State for your 3 out of conference games. You're taking an 8th grade test and you're asking hey, put us in the senior math competition. These seniors. Oregon, Ohio State, Alabama, these seniors are competing with other seniors all year long to get to the math competition at the end of the year, to get to the state finals at the end of the year. And we're all taking we're all taking trigonometry and algebra 3 and, geometry, but these jokers are taking 1 + 1 = 2 tests.
Okay, so what is the point of the group of 5 then?
The point has always been what I've had is that we're not playing the same sport. We're not playing the same sport. The G5 needs to have their own competition. You need to break D1A into 2 spots, cut it off at about 60 or so. It's what, 133 teams, 132 teams. Cut it off at about 60, 65. If you're in the Power 4, you're up for this. You're up for this. And if you want to be independent, like Notre Dame, fine, but you need to play 10 Power 4 teams.
Is Wake Forest playing the same sport as Alabama? Is
probably not, but they're at least taking they're taking the senior test.
But like at the end of the day, if you make this statement, right? We've heard talk about super conferences splitting
sure, they're
off
failing the senior test, but they're at least taking it.
Yeah, but you go this direction, in a couple years, they'll be excluded from the senior test too. You think the Big Ten wants to drag Rutgers around? You think the ACC wants to keep Boston College playing these big games?
Yes, so their main team can have an easy win. So their main team can have a pseudo bye week.
You know exactly how this is going to go, Joe. You've got the SEC, right? With the media money. You've got the ACC teams going to do whatever they can to break out, join the ACC, join the Big Ten. You are going to have I think the eventual number of teams that are playing at the highest level of college football,
about 30,
will be under 40.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
We have created the NFL.
Great.
Why is that a good thing? How? In which universe is this a good thing?
It's not a good thing, really, but I would be for it to stop the pretending. To stop the pretending that James Madison has a chance in this tournament. To stop the pretending that Tulane has a chance in this tournament. Like, can Tulane crack Ole Miss on an off day? Yeah, they might. They might be able to. But yeah, go crack Georgia the next week. You're not playing in the same level here.
And here is my problem with the whole system that we have right now. It has created this line of thinking. We're revolving everything around this national championship game, where we have a caller, someone who has a great knowledge of the game of football, usually has takes I agree with very much in Hunter Brantley, calling in to have to talk about why do we even play these conference championship games. I listened to him yesterday at WVUA talking to me
20 minutes, I bet.
This went on for so long where it's like, why are we playing for a trophy? The trophy I care about is the national championship. I
promise you, my parents are already buying SEC championship merch.
Right. You think all those Indiana fans?
They are. You're dang right they are.
You know, even you play the other, like Ohio State.
Texas Tech's already got the hats.
Yeah. Even if Ohio State wins that Big Ten title, right? It's something they've done a lot. It's something they'll continue to do a lot. It still means something. You don't think that, the New Year's Six Bowls back in the day, they meant something. Now, if Alabama goes out, right? Or let's play out, because Alabama would be an upset. Let's play Ohio State, right? They are going to play, most likely, Texas A&M in the second round in what bowl? Cotton or Sugar?
They're in the Cotton Bowl.
Cotton Bowl. Whichever one they're in.
Yeah, they're in the Cotton Bowl.
They go out, they win that bowl game. In the past, a Cotton Bowl, you win the Cotton Bowl. Yeah, that's a great season. We accomplished something. Now they play in the Cotton Bowl and they just move on to the next New Year's Six Bowl. Like, they go right to the Fiesta Bowl. I hate the idea of playing multiple big bowl games in a year, and I absolutely despise what it has done for the sport, for the narratives that we build around it, and for this nonsensical world we've created where all that matters in college football is winning a championship. It is horrible. It is ruining the sport that we all used to love. It is a different game nowadays. I don't like it one bit.
Sorry, you triggered me into a comment or into a thought. Perfect. Give me 1 second here. First off, do you think? Let me just throw a wild one at you as I load this. Do you think that you think the Coach DeBoer is going to be This is it's totally silly. It's going to be back on the Bama fans' radars if they lose to Oklahoma, despite making it to the college football playoffs and making it to the SEC championship.
Yes.
It's like you failed.
For another 4-loss season.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, without a doubt.
All right, let me see if I can download this because you just triggered me and I found a clip that I want to play. But I definitely think that you're going to have some bozos talking about Kalen DeBoer failure. I put out yesterday. He's 10-3. He's 19-7 in his 2 years at Alabama. He's made it to an SEC championship. Compare that to the first 2 years of Saban, and you're much better, honestly.
Yeah, but Joe, you don't have the right to defend Kalen DeBoer.
Why is that?
Because you've decided that the championship is all that matters, right?
Saturday matters.
You've centered it around this idea.
Saturday mattered
around this 12-team playoff. I'm talking more about the narrative that we have in sports, right? We've centered around this idea. So when Saban coached in a different era, Saban had a different benchmark that he was, leading his teams by. He had different things that mattered for a successful season. Kalen DeBoer is a failure compared to that because we moved the bar. I'm not speaking from what I think. I'm not speaking from what you think. I'm speaking from what the state of college football is right now.
This season.
Right, go ahead, Blake.
No, please keep going. I just wanted to load it.
I'm a great clip, by the way. But I'm bringing it in from the perspective of it's championship or bust. We don't care about any bowl game. We don't care about a conference championship. We brought this guy in to win national championships. That's the trophy that people care about. That's what everything revolves around. That's what this 12-team playoff revolves around.
I think Alabama's had a successful season no matter what happens in the next round.
I do too, but I guarantee you a lot of people won't agree with that.
Do you view this season as a failure?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success. And if you've never, I don't want to make it personal. So there's always steps to it. Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure. That's what you're telling me. I'm asking you a question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why you asking me that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports.
There's no failure.
There's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful. Some days you're not. Some days it's your turn. Some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. Some other people's gonna win. And this year somebody else is gonna win. Simple as that. We're gonna come back next year, try to be better, try to build good habits, try to play better, not have a 10-day stretch with playing bad basketball. And hopefully we can win a championship.
All right, he keeps going, but that's basically.
I
think that is one of the most poignant things. Like, I don't want to see James Madison and Tulane in this tournament because I don't think that they took the same test to get there. Is it going to be fine that they're in there? They're going to get the brains beat in. Okay, yes, it's fine. I guess their good record shows that we should include them, I guess. But I don't think that they took the same test to get there. Not like, you're going to have Notre Dame, you're going to have Vanderbilt, you're going to have Texas, who took harder tests and performed pretty well. Pretty dadgum well through the year. 10-2, 10-2, 9-3, right? For those 3 programs with some high level wins, a couple stinky losses. Texas, you lost to Florida, but pretty good seasons. I think they took much harder tests and performed very well and deserve to be in this playoff more than Tulane and James Madison. And would you have better games? Maybe, but that's not what happened. I think that the committee, they need to get rid of the Tuesday night show. They need to get rid of the Tuesday night show, period. Because you don't need that, or you need to have some better PR, because Hunter Yurachek was absolutely horrific. Vic every single time in front of the microphone was like, what is this guy saying? Alabama rushing yards? Alabama ran the ball well or didn't run the ball well? We dropped them. We raised them. Oh, Alabama, like, people didn't look under the microscope of Auburn's season. They just saw 5-7. And so when Hunter Yurachek said, well, they beat Auburn, they came back and beat Auburn and, tough season. Well, Auburn was basically tied with A&M late, was pushing Georgia late. And Auburn played a lot of these playoff teams and was right there hanging with a lot of them, right? But yes, they were 5-7. They came up short. And so the people who just see 5-7 don't really respect Auburn. And I know we shouldn't be respecting Auburn on this show, but let's be honest. Auburn was a pretty good team at 5-7. If you throw Auburn in the Sun Belt, do they beat James Madison and win the conference championship? Probably. And so, or they're in that mix, right? So if James Madison is good, then Auburn is good. It's different tests. And so I think Yurachek was absolutely horrific all year long. I like Alabama's draw. I think that they probably should have moved down to 10 based on the Hunter's not wrong with his voicemail saying he should have moved Georgia up to 2. Georgia should have been 2. Georgia kicked the dog mess out of Alabama on Saturday and should have moved up to 2. I understand Yurachek's his conversation. Well, Indiana and Ohio State played a really close game. Ohio State missed a field goal, went for it on 4th down, didn't get it. It was really, really close to winning. We didn't want to punish them that bad. Well, the drop from 1 to 3 is not really that bad, Yurachek. I think that would have been a fine punishment to put them from 1 to 3, move Indiana from 2 to 1, and Georgia from 3 to 2. I would have moved Alabama down from 9 to 10 because, hey, man, you played all these injuries. It's a bonus game, but you still got your head kicked in Atlanta. You're dropping from 9 to 10. I understand the people who wanted that to happen. I understand the people who wanted Miami in over Notre Dame. I think that's the right take. And look, who's left out? BYU and Notre Dame are left out because of DEI champions Tulane and James Madison, who took 8th grade level tests when everybody else is taking senior level tests. And is BYU better than Tulane? Probably. Is BYU better than James Madison? Probably. Is Notre Dame better than both of them? Yes. And so the structure of the college football playoff is jacked up in a big way. Alabama, your resume was good enough to carry the day. People who wanted Alabama to fall out because, we hate you. We want the conference. We want you, Georgia's butt whooping to knock you out. I think are not taking the whole picture of how difficult the SEC is and exactly what happened throughout the year. Yeah, you lost to Florida State, and that ended up being an ugly loss. But I think Alabama, throughout the rest of the year, showed that they're one of the 12 best teams in the country. And we've had multiple lost national champions before. And if Alabama sucks, like a lot of people think that the outside people think they do, well, Oklahoma's just going to beat them again in Norman, and that'll take care of itself. And maybe that spot should have gone to BYU, and Oklahoma would beat them too. Maybe Notre Dame, and Oklahoma would beat them too. Like it's all going to work themselves. At the end of the day, we're arguing about 10, 11, 12 through 15 or 16. Like the right 4 teams got buys. The right 4 teams got buys and got good games and got some rest. I think the system is about as good as it's ever been. Maybe you just take the committee out of it and you make the BCS computers and you make the BCS people the old formula, set the 12. But I think at the end of the day, they landed on the right team and they landed on pretty close to the right field as well.
Yeah, I agree with the rules that they have and the 12 teams they had to pick. I'm very impressed they picked Miami. Did that only happen because of Virginia's win? Probably. They didn't, wrong way to get to the right answer is how I'll put it. But yeah, no, I mean, I have so many problems with this committee.
The committee was horrible. They were horrific.
So many problems with the format, but that's all besides the point. Because at the end of the day, we're here, right? We're at the 12-team playoff. Alabama's competing for a national championship. And hey, Ty Simpson doesn't just think, he knows that Alabama has the best offense in the country.
They need to stop gaslighting.
That is a direct quote for anyone who did not hear Ty Simpson talk after the game. I was astounded to hear it.
They need to stop gaslighting. We're so confident. We know that we're the best offense in the country. Oh, really? You are?
But look, now Alabama, they've shown a lot of good things this year. We know that they are a flawed team, but they're a team that's going to be healthier. They're a team that's going to have a chance to regroup, and they're a team that played possibly the best stretch of football any squad's had this season, right? I mean, they were incredible.
Those 5
Mid-season
weeks
run.
were insane.
Yeah.
I mean, and yeah, 5 weeks does not make an entire season, but they were really, really strong through those 5 weeks. All right, Theo, let's look at this path a little closer. We teased it. You're going to Norman, where you are a 1.5 point favorite,
Yeah.
which I think is probably largely due to the gambling tendencies of the folks that support the Crimson Tide to try to make sure if you see some of the more popular teams are usually get a point or two.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they're looking at, hey man, if you just didn't have the turnovers, if you made the field goal, then you would have probably won the game in Tuscaloosa. But you did have the turnovers, you did miss the field goal, so you lost. I wonder if you're a 1.5 point favorite, then you're going to Indiana, and I think Indiana is really good. But honestly, I'm still sitting here thinking, well, if Alabama can max out, you remember Coach DeBoer, middle of the season, Alabama hasn't played his best ball yet. I still agree with that. Alabama still hasn't played his best ball. If you find Alabama's best football, I think you can win 3 games and find yourself in the national championship.
I absolutely do as well. I mean, Indiana had an incredibly impressive season, right? History. Signetti's done a fantastic job. Mendoza is a legitimate star. With that being said, the body of work that they've put together, it's a team they've had their fair share of bad moments. They struggled with Iowa. They needed a miracle to beat Penn State. It's far from a perfect team. They're a winning team. They're a team that's managed to come through every single time it's had to. But I find it very likely that Alabama would be in that game down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
That is one that should go down to the wire if Alabama's able to get there. We know how we match up with Oklahoma. We'll be talking about that game so much over the next 2 weeks. I believe Alabama will walk into Norman and win. And then you look at this Crimson Tide team and the way that they've been able to build momentum during stretches of the season, particularly that stretch earlier in the year. I would go as far as to say that if Alabama gets past Indiana, right, and Oklahoma, at that point, the train has left the station.
Yes.
At that point, when you have a game in Georgia
that's the other
against Texas Tech or Oregon or JMU,
that place is going to be full.
Yeah. Like you'd expect, like the semifinal almost feels like it'd be the easiest of the first 3 games.
That place is going to be full. And then what we heard on Saturday night with the Georgia faithful, it's going to be roll tide.
Yes.
Roll tide. And yeah, you can fly into Atlanta pretty easily, Texas Tech and Oregon, but you're going to be in the minority.
Right. Like they'll have a lot of individual fans who make it there, but just the sheer numbers. Going to be Bama.
Yeah. And then if you are able to take care of that, you've got this whole other side of the bracket down in Miami. What would be pretty fun would be to play Miami in Miami.
That would be crazy.
Obviously, the 10 seeds are unlikely, but that would be pretty fun to me. It'd be fun to play round 3 with Georgia for the national championship. Everything on the line.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Miami, getting to bring back all Carson Beck memes, that'd be.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping for a Georgia-Miami semifinal just to see Carson Beck take on his old team.
That would be awesome. Well, look, obviously, hey, Alabama, this team, I have very little doubt in their ability to go into Norman and lose the game and make mistakes that really cost them. And, we're not even worried about a Rose Bowl after that.
Did you see Jim Nagy, the Oklahoma general manager? He tweeted a photo of the stadium right now covered in snow.
That's going to be awesome.
Bring your snow gear out to Norman. Oh, yes.
I can't wait, man. It's going to be a fun playoff run.
Friday night football in the snow in Oklahoma.
And it makes so much sense that they gave Alabama the primetime slot, right? Both the Texas A&M game and then the Oregon game, they're both competing with NFL on Saturday. Alabama gets the standalone Friday night. Definitely going to be the most watched game out of that first round. And
Bears Packers on Saturday night. So I'm so thankful that Alabama on Friday night. Yeah, the rematch. Our rematch is on Saturday night in Chicago. Late night. So, all right. So, a lot to get into with the college football playoff field and everything. Theo, I don't want to cut you off, but I'm about out of juice right here, and we can move on to the basketball and wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
All right. So, we've been in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. Looks like I got booted from the Facebook page. That's all right. Just because we probably went so long. We're live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios, and you can call Derek for all your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Call him for your home, your life, your auto insurance needs. You can call, you've got Red, you've got Lane and Bobby upstairs waiting to take your call, waiting to give you a fast auto insurance quote. Just because you call doesn't mean you're buying. It doesn't mean you're switching. They can give you the information that you need to make informed decisions about your insurance. You need auto insurance to stay legal on the road, and you need a local insurance agent to take care of you when you've got things going wrong. So we appreciate Derek Daniel for sponsoring and hosting us each and every day right here in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. All right, so real quick, because I was watching this game as I was typing things up for BamaCentral.com, and it was a butt whooping. Alabama hosted UTSA. The Crimson Tide won 97-55. They won the first half 56-17, a little closer in the second half, 41-38. But at the end of the day, Jaleel Bethea made his full return. He played in the last game for Alabama against Clemson, but made his full return against UTSA. So the Miami transfer, it looks like he's in full-on action. 22 minutes for Jaleel Bethea, 21 points, joined by London Jemison with 20 points in 18 minutes, and LeBaron Philon 20 points in 22 minutes. So nice showings. Jaleel Bethea, welcome back. 5 of 10. 50% from beyond the arc for Jaleel Bethea. And then LeBaron also 50% from behind the arc, 3 of 6. So really, really nice action as a team. Alabama shooting 28% from three-point land, 16 of 57, 57 three-pointers. Yikes. Ended up out-rebounding UTSA 57-41. So did well on the glass. Obviously, UTSA not really coming into Tuscaloosa to challenge the Crimson Tide. It's a bye game. You're giving your old buddy Austin Klonch a chance to put some things on tape, and Alabama gets a pretty lackluster, pretty low rated win over UTSA, but still builds momentum ahead of this Saturday's contest against Arizona. So, what do you think, Theo? You were there. You anchored. You anchored the game. You had highlights from Hunter Brantley. What did you make of Alabama's performance? No Aiden Sherrill. No Aiden Holloway.
Yep. No Bull Bowen.
No Taylor Bull Bowen, back spasms. No Keaton Bristow, still with an ankle. And obviously Collins still dealing with a medical issue.
Yeah, so, it was great to see that out of Bethea. I'm still a little critical of the move to bring him in. I have been for a while, just because it's not what this team needed, but it makes it a lot more fun getting him out there. He is an incredible player. I mean, he is just, his scoring ability, some of his drives to the basket, his creative finishes, and his just ability to drain an open shot. He is a great, he shot 5 of 10 from beyond the arc.
Flamethrower.
Yeah. He is a great player. He is going to score a lot of points for this team. He's not going to fix the fundamental issues that this Alabama basketball team has, right? The rebounding is going to be a problem. I still believe that Collins is just about the only thing that can salvage it for Bama.
Healthy Collins, healthy Keaton Bristow.
There were 2 players who played in the game and did not score. One was Preston Murphy Jr., and the other was, as many can probably guess, Noah Williamson, who in 13 minutes did not attempt a shot, 3 rebounds, 3 fouls. Just getting some cardio in out there and
just taking up space.
He's unplayable, unfortunately, and it's going to come down to, first of all, can Bristow and Bull Bowen stay on the court, right? That is a big factor for the Crimson Tide. Second of all, can Aiden Sherrill, his rim protection lately, he had 3 blocks today. He had 8 blocks against Clemson. His rim protection's improving, and if he can do that on a regular basis, it's a huge thing for Alabama. And then, I mean, can Amari Allen continue to grab rebounds the way that he has? He had 11 points, 10 boards, second straight double-double. He is a great player. He has so much potential. And I'd say the other piece is the guy who scored 20 points, London Jemison. NATO's called him the second best post defender after Sherelle. It's going to take guys like that stepping up, I think, for Alabama to stay competitive in the paint this year. Arizona is going to be a massive test, and I think I believe Arizona will beat Alabama by about 15 points. I believe that they will expose a lot of Alabama's flaws. Not that they haven't been exposed already. Now, I do also believe that Arizona is a bona fide 1 seed, one of the best in the country, but I think that Alabama's in a place where a lot of development still has to happen, right? A lot of things didn't go according to plan in the offseason. A lot of guys are banged up. You're figuring out how to build your identity inside. So I'm not concerned at all about any of these problems, but I just think it'll take a while for them to get sorted out. Now, in a weak SEC, and I say weak relative because it's much worse than it was last year, but still a top 3 conference. Alabama is in a much better position to possibly go out and win a regular season title. That's all contingent on how these players who are playing minutes in the paint develop.
Can we see the team with full health, please? I think that's going to be that's a huge question.
After this Arizona game, it'll be a big chance for, less games. Guys get healthy before SEC.
Yeah, you've got 6 days until you play Arizona on Saturday. KenPom has that as a 1-point loss. Alabama, they've got it as 87-86 Arizona. That'll be in Birmingham. We hope that you get up there for that night ED contest. It's going to be, I think it's going to be electric right up there at the BJCC. But really, I was just impressed with Jaleel Bethea. Nice to see him back out there, and impressed with London Jemison. I think that he is coming along as a freshman. I think the freshman class has been really, really fun to watch with Amari Allen, with London Jemison, and Davion Hanna. Davion scored 9 points, getting 8 rebounds. I think the freshman class is full of just junkyard dogs, and I really like them as members of the blue, to putting on their blue collar, their hard hats. I think that those 3 guys have embraced the hard hat mentality fully already in this early point of the season. I do think Saturday is going to be very, very challenging for Alabama, and we'll talk about that later in the week. Theo, I don't really want to cut you off on basketball either, but I don't have much else to it because I was pretty distracted with college football playoff yesterday.
Yeah, obviously basketball came second on this weekend, but just a lot to be happy about. UTSA, they're the second lowest funded school in the American. They're really not. It's going to be a quad 3 win at best, possibly quad 4. I will say
nothing to hang a banner over.
The one disappointing, the one thing that's kind of given me pause over the whole season is just Wrightsell. He is not quite the player he was before the injury. I mean, look, the shooting, he's rusty. He shot 2 of 14 from beyond the arc.
Keep firing him.
4 of 18 from the field. So
put him up.
We're still waiting for him to see the day where everything starts to fall. But just, I don't know, overall court fit on this team, it feels different than it did 2 years ago. So he's probably been the most disappointing part of the season to start. But when you look at the guys who are stepping up, when you look at the fact that Amari Allen is top 4 in every stat for Alabama this year.
He's been incredible.
He's fantastic.
You forced 18 turnovers against UTSA. That's pretty nice. You only turned the ball over 5 times. That's pretty good as well. So you got a lot of action, good defense, 29 fast break points. You got up and down the floor pretty well. I like a lot of the bones. You're just going to have to get some muscle and get some sinew and tie everything together as the rest of the season continues.
Look, I think if you'd told us that Alabama would be in this position and given us the whole blueprint preseason, be happy.
Absolutely. Alabama up to 13 in KenPom. So slowly climbing. Number 3 in offense, number 47 in total defense.
Nanos has had worse defenses than that. So
a lot worse.
It could be a lot.
Arizona, number 5 in KenPom, 9 in offense, 10 in defense. So extremely balanced and extremely good.
You watched any Arizona this year, Jim?
A little bit. They've got the kid. They've got the Andres Pete, younger brother, right?
Yeah, Kopi.
Yeah.
He is a fantastic player. Their game against UConn, I know UConn had some bigs out, but this team is good.
Yeah, Kopi, 6'8" freshman. They got, I don't want to say your name, Montejuvis Krivas, 7'2".
They actually, you nailed it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Montejuvis Krivas. There we go, man. It's like I can read. 7'2" junior, gonna be a pretty big load on Saturday. Toby Awaka, 6'8" as well. So they got three dudes that can really get it done on the inside, and we'll talk about that the rest of the week. Theo, you follow Theo Fernandez at Theo Fernandez _. Check him out on WVUA 23 on the sports decks. I know you're probably doing that a lot more with Gary, kind of doing double duty, right?
Yeah, Gary's stuck doing the
newsman,
Christmas parades and whatnot. So I got a chance to fill in Thursday. I got to do the Saturday, Sunday. Great times over there.
So check them out on WVUA 23. You read all his stuff at BamaCentral.com. You guys can find me, of course, at Joe Gaither 6 on all your favorite social media machines. You can find the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, Red Circle, BUBBL, really wherever you find the program, all your podcasts. The Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central will be there. You can see it on the Bama Central YouTube channel. Lots of fun stuff on the Bama Central YouTube channel this past weekend from the SEC championship game. You can see all the boys looking sad in the hallways after the game. Basically saying we should have played better, bad execution, this, that, and the other, all on the Bama Central YouTube channel, all the press conferences from basketball as well. And so we'll keep it coming right there on that Bama Central YouTube channel. The Joe Gaither Show will be back with you tomorrow. We'll find Mason Woods as well, and we'll let him have his flowers on his Ty Simpson take as we get further into the week. We'll find Brax Garrison from Purple Turtle Roof. Call them at 877-787-6635 and come find us on the show again tomorrow right here on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither 6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.